There we are. Hello and welcome to West Yorkshire Engines. Don't know if you guys, this is only a second ever live stream. We thought we'd get involved more with us fans and see where we are in today's current market. Don't know if you guys have heard about the Mercedes and Nissan Alliance has now ended. Yes, that's really good news. At least poor Mercedes owners are not going to be going through what Nissan owners have gone through recently, but it is what it is. Anyone want to get involved today? Alright boys, thank you for getting involved. Richard, Christian. Tough one today, isn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say now. You put your camera in front of you and you go, what were I going to say? I don't know. All the best, guys. Thank you for getting involved. Past 12 months. Yeah, I'd say the past 12 months has been one of the hardest for us. Without a doubt, as a family, because we went through so much. The all Emacs parts thing were a nightmare, and then we had just a knock on of other things really that just didn't go quite to plan. But yeah, we've soldered on, and here we are today. And it's because of YouTube and you guys why we keep doing what we're doing. It wasn't until we realised how much videos we're helping people. Did we really?
No, not really.
And it's turned out that thousands and thousands of people need his help on a daily basis, and it's thanks to YouTube and you guys that we've been able to save people an absolute fortune in repairs. And that's one of the beauties that I love about doing the YouTube channel, I'd say.
Oh, definitely. It's all the positivity you get out of helping people along the way, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Suzanne's actually spoke to a lady this week that had done a suction control valve herself, diagnosed it and fitted it herself.
Yeah.
And she was getting quoted like 250 quid. And I think she did it herself and it were just under 100 quid. So happy days, you know. Silly little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Normally that sets you back a fair few quid, and that's what I love about doing the channel. Going back to the last video, you know the MP300 guys, the one with really low mileage, and I said that the dealership that it had been to had voided his warranty because of contaminated fuel. Well, we've actually been able to get it rebooked in with one of the best. People ask me which is the best main agents to use up in the north, and that is without a doubt Brian Carter at Fred Coupe Nissan. They are the very, very, very. That is probably one of the best dealership I've ever dealt with in over 15 years of been doing this job. Because he's as honest as they come with Brian.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're in and around the Manchester area, my advice to you would be, if you need to use Nissan for your servicing for your warranty and MOTs or whatever, Fred Coupe Nissan, spot on guy, and he'll look after you, especially during your warranty period. So get it booked in, get any services that you need, get it in with Fred Coupe Nissan. So hopefully, yeah, that we've saved that guy in and I think they were quoting him about $9,000 to do the repair to that. And do you remember what we're telling you guys about the engine? Because it's a fuel pump issue. Remember what we're telling you about? Basically, it's a van engine that's been turned 90 degrees and dropped in the Navara. Well, I've spoke to Brian, and he said to me, he said, because of the way the fuel pump's located right at the back of the cylinder head, right, and it's that close to the bulkhead, he's actually it's right. There's only two ways to deal with this fault. You've either got to take the engine out to deal with it, or you've literally got to lift the cab off the chassis to get to this fuel pump. It's like mental, you know what I mean? Was there any forethought in that? Any forethought in that? Absolutely nuts.
I think one of the craziest part is it still takes the exact same amount of time to take the engine out as it does to lift off the cab.
Oh yeah, the getting the engine out on the MP300, man, that is tight.
Oh, it's no easy task at all.
We did the auto one. We did. Now the difference between an auto and a manual, guys, is you've got a clutch and a dual mass flywheel.
Yeah.
So, you've got about that much gap more with a manual to get out.
Yeah.
So the drive plate for the automatic is very, very thin because it's only there for the starter motor.
Yeah.
Start the engine.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So we were lucky that it were an auto, or else we'd probably have to have took the cab off if it had been a manual. So
most possibly, yeah.
Again, we don't see many MP300s, but it's mainly the ones that get voided by the main agents. So that's something that you've got to be very, 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 very aware of, guys. If you own an MP300, it's pivotal that you keep up to the servicing schedule, because Nissan will anything goes wrong under warranty and you've missed a service, even if it's just one, even if it's by 1,000 miles, they can turn around and void any warranty, and that basically voids every part of the car. So no matter what goes wrong with that, you're now paying for it. You're not getting it done for free.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's one. Right. Let's have a look at some of these messages. Why did the Mercedes-Nissan alliance end? Right, well, I'm told that's because it's of the Carlos Ghosn situation, because of the scandal that's gone on between Carlos Ghosn. But in my viewpoint, I would reckon it's more of a warranty issue. I said this, I can't believe that stuff that I've said on the channel or on his Facebook has actually turned out to be true.
Yeah.
And I said to, on one of the, I think it was a Shazzy video that we did, and I did say that Mercedes needs to, what do you call it, reevaluate the warranty terms, because I said, Mercedes, are you right in your head? Because Mercedes A-Class is nothing more than a Renault Clio, really.
In truth, yeah.
Yeah, I thought once I found out that what were going on with Mercedes and Nissan, it were like mis-selling. And I think it devalued the car.
Yeah, because what you expect to get is, a full-on fledged German Mercedes, high quality, high class, but then you find out it's a French car that's being rebadged as this high-end German car, but people associate, the whole expense you're paying and everything that's going towards with the money that you've spent is pure Mercedes, but which has actually happened is you're actually getting a Renault Clio with the A-Class as well.
But I know it's like, I see some A-Class drivers and they're loving the A-Class.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I think
the lean back music loud.
If you only knew what I knew, and then it's the price as well, and the price of servicing. It's like the labour prices compared to, say for instance, you're in London. I mean, up here now, it's £100 an hour at our main local agent. Yeah. So what you're looking down at London, Nissan 150 an hour, Mercedes £200 an hour labour, and that's what London prices are like. So it's just, it's one of them.
It's the exact same thing, but you're getting charged a hell of a lot more just for a name.
Yeah, I'd lost faith in Mercedes. Every time I was looking at a big flash Mercedes, 70, 80 grand's worth of car, and I think, how much is that made of cheap Chinese products where we're all expecting it to be good German quality and it's not, it's really just cheap manufactured parts from over the pond.
It is. It's the truth,
yeah, and it's, well, they're all interchanging really though, aren't they? Let's be honest with you about it. Vauxhall have been doing it with because the M9R engine that we slate that's gone in the MP300 is the same engine in the Renault Traffic. Vauxhall Vivaro, and speak to a Vauxhall Vivaro ex-owner, and what were the biggest problems that they had? Seized injectors, snapped chains, cranks. I've done a few M9Rs. I think I've even done an M9R on YouTube. With a big end knocking.
I think that was one of the earliest videos, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we've been doing it's been going on about 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
And it's wow. And big thank you to all you guys who get in contact from all around the world. You certainly keep us busy, that's for sure.
I think another one of the biggest issues with the M9R is it's built in high production at cheap value.
Yeah, definitely.
So because they've already got like the blueprints for engines that were built back in 2005 with all like the Renault Traffics and the Prime Stars as well.
Yeah.
It's just literally got that one platform and said, how can we improve this instead of actually how can we make a better engine.
Yeah.
They've just gone for the basic cheap platform and just kind of upgraded from there rather than developing a whole new
well,
fleet of engines.
that's what I love about doing the channel and the videos is we've consistently proven over a number of years how many times that they've cut costs.
Yeah.
And it's gone on and it's gone on and it's gone on and it's gone on to a point where we've now got to a point where we're saying the 2010 engine for the Nissan Navara is probably one of the worst.
Yep.
Probably one of the worst that they've brought out in 15 years.
I'd possibly say that, yeah.
You know, going back 15 years, those are years of I've had Nissans a long time, and this is a little story for you. This is going back to 15, 16 years ago. The old Toronto engine, the TD27 engine, that was the engine code for that. I was just learning my trade then, and the TD25 engine went in the Cabstar, and the very first Nissan Navara D21, that engine was bulletproof.
Oh yeah, that was the single camera.
That was absolutely bulletproof. It would run forever. It was one hell of a heavy engine. It were cast iron from top to toe. But yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant engine. They did 2.3, 2.5, and 2.7. And yeah, they give Nissan the reputation, because when I first got involved in doing the motor trade, we were doing all 4x4s. I was doing Mitsubishi L200s, the 2.5, then they had the Shogun 2.8, which were the 4M40, Daihatsu 4-track, which were the DL50 engine, 300 TDI, 200 TDI, and then the TD5s, when they first came out, they were a really problematic engine.
Oh yeah.
And you never really got a Nissan with a major engine fault.
Yeah.
And that's honestly that we never ever really got any Nissans in for an engine fault. So when I set up working for myself, going back 12, 13 years ago, and we said, right, we'll specialise in Nissan, MOT, brakes, you know, the odd bit, this, that, and the next thing, and then. We used to do a lot of Freelander engines as well. The old famous K-Series engine. But yeah, so we never really got Nissan in. So that's what made me decide. Because a lot of people ask me, why did you decide Nissan? And it was like, because I thought they were quality.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, but they are. And back then we thought they were.
Oh yeah.
You know, so we're singing and praising them. and well, let's put this through here, right? That 2.5 engine, they even put it in Black London taxis. That's how good it was, because it never broke down.
Yeah, it's kept running.
They were always on the road. They were a non-turbo, but they don't need a turbo in London. It's that busy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You
10 miles an hour, 15
crawling everywhere you go. But yeah, so we barely got a Nissan in for an engine job. So that's why I chose Nissan to specialise in. And then never in a million years did I realise how bad they were going to be. And then it was like, you'd fix one problem, 3 months later something else would go.
Oh yeah.
Then something else would go. And then you were like, at first guys, right, we used to blame it on in-house mistakes. You know, when cars were coming back under warranty, we were blaming in-house, because when you're busy on the phones and you've got customers coming, or you've got to get mail order out and you're rushing, because that's my day in general, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And you think, well, did I tighten that bolt, or did I miss a bolt, or and then we put in a place where we did job sheets. So we'd literally, if the phone rung while we were in the middle of doing a cylinder head torque or sequence, we put there's initials to it, and then it was sort of like, once we'd realised it wasn't in-house mistakes, because we got really, really strict. We had quite a few staff at that point.
Oh yeah.
But then we got really, really strict, because we were getting quite a few that were coming back to us.
Yeah, it was getting more and more.
And so Suzanne put a foot down. She said, nobody's ever touching an engine again other than me and her. And that's why we said, right, it's family only from here on in, and we stuck together as a family through thick and thin, and there's been some ups and there's been some downs along the way. There's certainly been a few downs. And I think one of the things that I think when I look back over the years now at all the ups and downs that we have been through, I think I'm really proud of doing the YouTube videos.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's really helped spur us on, I'd say, hasn't it, in truth?
In truth, yeah.
Because it would have been easier at times just to give up and go get a job, you know, and live a normal life. We've said it a few times, haven't we, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm now a granddaddy for now of you that don't know, my little grandson's here today. He's only 3 months old now, isn't he? Yeah. He's shooting up. And I said to Nath, I said, you know, maybe you're not fancy going to get another job. And he goes, you know something, Dad? Let's keep going. We'll just go day by day and see where we go. And that's it. And it's we're still here, still fixing cars. But the support that we get from you guys is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, it is.
The emails that we get, it's so thankful, so grateful for the videos that we've done. And it's just the positive phone calls that you get, and it's nice to think, well, we've made the sacrifices to get the channel to where it is, to try and teach people as much as we can about the car, so you can make that decision. I tell you what, I find what the biggest thing is people love the Navara or the 4x4, don't they? And then something goes wrong and they've got a big bill in a repair. They kind of swallow it and can deal with one problem.
Oh yeah, so once that problem comes along, it's like, yeah, I'll accept it, I'll pay it.
Yeah, and pay it, and then when you start saying, look, take a good look at those videos, take a good look at the channel, this is what could happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, I tell you what, I am getting a lot of feedback off though, is people saying that they're glad they did the research before they bought.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us all are on a limited budget, in fairness, and you know your vehicle's, you know, part of your life, in truth, and it's just one of them things really. It's just, yeah, I'm glad we've done the channel, glad we've done the videos, and I'm glad it helps people all around the world. Special mention to you boys in the Caribbean, Simon in Jamaica, John in St. Lucia, Cheriana in Barbados.
Someone donated.
Sorry?
Someone donated.
Have they?
Yeah.
Wow! Thank you! Andrew, cheers pal, thank you mate. Really appreciate it. I didn't know people could donate. Thank you. Oh, that's really kind of you, mate. Thank you. I didn't even know people could donate. We just said we'd try and do 1 or 2 of these, and so you can get more of an insight in who we are and what we're like, and why we do the videos. Because I think I've pretty much covered with everything on the engine now. I think on the YD25 now. I think we really have pretty much covered all the repairs and all the symptoms, which is pretty nice, because you can pretty much build. I know you guys could pretty much remove, build, refit your own engine now after all the 190 odd videos that we've done, and then running diagnosis problems. They're straightforward. And again, I think another nice bit is a diesel engine's a diesel engine. It's no different. So the symptoms that we've taught you on this channel, you can take with you for the rest of your diesel days, to be honest with you, because diesel engine's the diesel engine, isn't it, in truth?
Yeah, it's suck, squeeze, bang, blow.
Yeah.
There's nothing really, like other than that, really, to be honest.
I think the final one that we've helped people with, and the most important one with diesel engines particularly, is DPFs.
Oh yeah.
If you've got a DPF filter on your exhaust, it's good to give it a battering every now and again. And I mean, 4,500 RPM. Some people go, ah! 4,000 RPM, and he's like, it's good for it. Give it some. Get your toe down.
Yeah, I think it's some of the people's reactions where you tell them, you know, they have to kind of give it a boot, and they've probably never gone above 30 mile an hour and below 2,000 RPM.
I can see some customers, you know, screaming in the passenger seat, and
butt cheeks clenching the seat.
Yeah, and they're going, "What are you doing?" But they're not saying it, and it's sort of like, well, for one, I'm listening for noises. Number two, I've got my eyes in the mirror to see what sort of smoke's coming out the back of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we take it from there. So again, top tip for you: if you're starting to notice your fuel economy is going down, give it a bit of a battering, and then take it on a nice normal drive at 60 mile an hour on the motorway for a good 30-40 miles.
Oh, easily, yeah.
And that always does it a bit of good, guys. That always does it a bit of good. But I tell you what, we have got coming in this week, guys, from Canada, a 4-litre petrol Pathfinder.
Ooh.
Yeah, I spoke to him last week. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this, guys. If you've been trying to get hold of me in the past couple of weeks, I'm really sorry if you haven't been able to get hold of me. We had a death in the family, and yeah, I took it quite bad, so I needed to take a bit of time off. But don't worry, everything's back and normal, hunky dory, up and running as normal as of tomorrow. But yeah, so again, I need to apologise for that if anyone's been desperately needed to get hold of me because of a repair. But yeah. See if I can write some of these messages. 2.2 DCI, want to be precise. Yeah, the 2.2 X-Trail engine is identical block to the D22. So if you're in the market for a D22 block, a used one, my advice would be don't do that. Actually, get a 2.2 and bore it out, because that's the only difference.
It's literally just.
And if you bore it out, you've got a perfect non-worn bore. Brand new, as good as gold. See what else we've got going on here. Alright guys. BMW M3 45. Oof, I like my BMWs.
Oh yeah.
I like my BMWs.
Quality.
My last car was Mini Cooper S, and that's only because everywhere I'm going at 100 mile an hour, because I'm always in a rush.
That's a good one. How easy is it to remove the thermostat in a 2007 Nissan Navara D40?
Very easy, guys, very easy. Follow your bottom radiators till you find it comes to a metal pipe. At that point, you'll find these 3 12mm bolts in a triangular diameter. Yeah. So you need a 12mm socket, bit of an extension bar, 3/8, undo it, and that's a good one. That actually, this time of year, people don't know that the actual thermostat is a serviceable item.
Oh yeah.
And it does need changing. It's a bit like antifreeze. It's got a certain lifespan, and it does need changing. And the amount of cylinder head jobs, because the summer is classed as cylinder head season for us. Is that's when people start noticing that sometimes when they haven't had the heater on, that's a good one of noticing and diagnose a faulty cylinder head. Is the exhaust gases pressurise your coolant system to a point that it's not circulating around your engine. Yeah. So if you notice that you've put your heaters on, guys, and you put it on hot, but you notice there's no hot air coming through, that's your first indication that there's a problem, so deal with it as soon as possible. That way you can possibly save yourself. Well, some of the stories we hear, honestly, in fact, I think that's what I should start doing next, because we're running out of videos to do on the Navara, is the actual stories that we get to hear.
Well, like story time.
Oh, you've got customers that ring us, and they're either broken down outside a motorway, or they're on the verges of breaking down. It's crazy. I spoke to one couple, and they'd phoned me from South America, and they'd bought the Navara 4 before to go on a 3-month holiday. They must have been planning this for years.
Oh, I remember these guys.
Do you remember?
Yes.
And the Navara ruined the holiday completely. They'd spent all the savings they spent with mechanics, and none of the mechanics could get the vehicle right. It went to 3 different mechanics, and they got charged over £2,000 at each one, and the car was still not right. And it's sort of like, they never got back into. I wish I knew what the end story was on that one, because they didn't actually get back in touch, and it would have been nice to hear the end on what a nightmare they went through.
It would have been even better to have like a happy ending out of that.
Yeah.
Say they've planned a full 3 month, pretty much like a round trip.
Yeah, so, all around South America.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful place to travel.
Yeah.
And don't let you down, you should bloody Navarra.
Yeah. Oh, big thank you to all you guys that have been in touch from Africa recently. I hear we've got a bit of a following in Africa as well. We've had quite a few emails from Africa. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope we could help. I wonder what else. Let's see if we can check that one. Vosk just become a new owner of a D22. D22s, they're my babies. I love D22s.
Oh yeah.
But they are what they are what they are. They are what they are. Again, our channel, if you've got a few spanners, I mean, you don't need a mass array of tools to work on a Nissan. 10, 12, 14, 17, 19.
10, 12.
And yeah, there's not a lot to them.
It's just a very simplistic engine, really. I mean, after you've spent so long working on the Euro 5s, the D40s, 2012 upwards, it's just, when you go back to a D22, you pop the bonnet, you just think there's nothing really there apart from the engine.
To go wrong.
Yeah, it's just...
But that was the beauty of diesel engines going back years ago. Simplicity, you had live and an earth. The rest of the engine was totally mechanical. And now, because of DPFs and EU regulations, and DPFs, they've caused some bother over years. They really. Well, even Snap-on would have let down. I mean, I couldn't do a DPF regeneration on as diagnostics till about... Well, it came out in 2006, and I bet you it was 7 years before it came out on the diagnostic equipment. I mean, I knock it now, but I knock Snap-on now for that, I say, because you're paying a fortune for all the updates.
Oh, yes,
but how far and how many years behind Snap-on really are?
Yeah.
Has made us learn the hard way, if you get my point? Because we've always had some of the hardest fixes that you can ever repair and diagnose, but without the software available.
Yeah.
So you had to go with the symptoms, and get as much information as you could out of the customer before you could really fix it, if you get the point. I mean, I've had some cars that have been
just pulling it
out. I'm going bold, guys. That's because of Nissan. That's because of Nissan. 12, 13. I think this is 13 years. Unlucky 13.
I think it's,
Good. Oh, what do you guys think about the new Ford Raptor? I've seen it in Sunday newspaper today, in the Sun. Yeah. In the car section. Big Ford grill badge on it.
It looks beautiful.
It looks the part, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The only thing is it said it's going to be a 2-litre engine.
Yeah, I believe it's a 2.3.
No, this one is 2 litre.
Because the original article said it was
twin turbo, 203 brake horsepower. I think 0 to 60 or 62 or something in 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's a quick truck.
Maximum speed 106 mile an hour. But I think what I'm getting at with big trucks, little engines.
Yeah, it's just you need a lot of oomph to get the big truck going.
Yeah, and then I think what I don't think what manufacturers are getting is what people use their 4x4s for.
Yeah.
How important their Navara or their Pathfinder or whatever 4x4 you've got is important for the work.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a commercial vehicle.
Yeah, it's a commercial vehicle, and it's really designed for work. I mean, you buy a brand new MP300 at 30 grand Plus, you don't expect it to be going off-roading, but they do.
It's what you buy it for. It's built for purpose.
Yeah, I mean, we get to speak to all trades because 99.9% of us customers are self-employed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I have got some customers that really, really, really rely on their Navara to get deep into the countryside. The Forestry Commission, for one.
Oh yeah, they're going deep in the middle of nowhere.
Pulling trailers, filling back up with a ton, and then you've got this measly little 2-litre engine. And then you think, oh, what about that Toyota that Jeremy Clarkson went into the Antarctica with, that new shirt one? Did you ever see that one, that red one?
Yeah.
Put them big daft tyres on it.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, I'm seeing people do that with their MP300s. I mean, because we're part of groups all over the world, and people are spending big money on the cars and running gears and lift kits and flares and
amounts.
I mean, silly amounts of money. And I think, right, so where are you going off-roading in that? Yeah, and then do you really rely on that engine? And what happens if you get stuck 20 miles into the wilderness? Hey.
You just spend 40 grand on like lift kits, wheels, tyres, suspension mods, and you get stuck somewhere.
Yeah. It's like, I'm a part of a group in Greece, and they have got some nice MP300s out there.
Gorgeous.
They have done some right modifications, especially with winch kits.
Oh yeah.
Front and back.
Alright.
So it's like, where the hell are they going?
Yeah, so the bike's going on.
Light bars, that'll blind you. You know what I mean? But, oh man. So yeah, it's sort of like, going back to big trucks, little engines thing though. But yeah, 2-litre engine in that, because it is a big looking truck.
Yeah. The issue with like all modern car makers going for light engines that produce a lot of power, and the only way you can do that is huge compression.
Yeah.
So they're looking for the cheapest but the lightest materials, looking for the biggest bang for the buck. So by doing that, they're going for really small engines, but they're trying to get as much and squeeze as much horsepower as they can out of there.
I think what gets me though with the Ford guys is, obviously I've been in the motor trade exactly 18 years, and coming up to my 13th as a Nissan specialist. So I did all makes and models of engines going back within them first few years. I used to work for a guy called Kevin Proctor at ASJ, and we used to do all makes and models, whether it was car, van, 4x4, so we did them all.
You've seen everything.
Yeah, and it was one of them. Beyond the Ford Transit, the smiley face Ford Transit, you know, like you see these old ice cream buses going around, because there were a fortune on the ice cream buses, because they were a business on wheels. But that old engine, again, that were cast iron, top to toe, and it was the first diesel direct injection, so it was like a step up. In the world of indirect injection, so we're slowly getting more and more power out of engines by using moving on to direct injection, and that was before we moved on to the 16 valve cylinder heads. That were then, back in them days, they were all 8 valve cylinder heads, but they were a lump of an engine.
Oh yeah, aren't you 2.5?
Yeah, well said. 2.5. I swear by Almighty God, they were a lump of an engine. It's like, I'm 9 stone dripping wet, and it's sort of like, I'd use forklift just to lift an engine. You know, nowadays I can roll them about, drag them about.
You can literally drag them across the full garage.
Yeah, and so it was sort of like, they've trying to make them lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter, aren't they? And I've seen the changes over the years, and they've improved. Come a long way. Diesel engine compared to the petrol engine has come a long way with developments. I think, like we said, the downside are the emissions, but we don't suffer that much with emissions up here. It's not really a big issue for us in sunny Bradford. It's only down in smoggy London that are really bothered about that. And a big big welcome to all you guys in London that regularly get in touch.
Well, I don't know, Leeds has got an emission zone coming in soon.
Oh.
I think that'd be this year, isn't it?
I think they are, yeah. I think it's something to do with all Euro bloody 6 vehicles. You've got to be Euro 6 compliant.
Yeah.
That's it. So taxis and buses and
Yeah.
all that has got to change. But yeah, so they're getting more torque through using boost sensors and twin turbos.
Yeah.
Using the flow of air to fuel ratio, they're getting far more torque because that's how they're getting more power.
Oh yeah.
But to the engine itself, there's nothing to them.
No.
They're very, very, very brittle. It's like I can lift a YD25 engine block. It's not light, don't get me wrong. It's only a good 55 kilos, but I can lift it and I can carry it.
Oh, easy.
Going back to that Ford Transit, going back years ago, I was telling you, me and Nathan, we would struggle to lift it and put it on an engine stand. So you can see where I'm coming from. Whereas when you look at these little tiny engines now, well, look at what Vauxhall did with the Corsa, little 3-cylinder thing. It was no wider than that.
It was literally a sheet of paper you could put on top of it, be gone. You wouldn't see it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you another thing as well, going back to the Ford and what we're talking about, what we know about engines is, since Ford moved onto the single timing chain, they've had their own issues and all, you know. The 2-litre diesel engine, Ford Transit diesel engine, when that first came out, they were doing chains for fun. Because the guy that I used to work for, there's a place local that was called Federal Mogul, and they're a big aftermarket manufacturing company, and they used to test bench running Ford engines to the death, and then whatever broke, they'd manufacture that first to get it in the aftermarket to be competitive within the aftermarket. Yeah, so my boss used to buy them broken engines. So I was stripping them apart and finding out what were wrong with them, and it was sort of like, if you speak to Ford owners or Ford Transit owners, and I tell you what we get to speak a lot of, AA drivers.
Oh yeah.
When AA are bringing vehicles to us from down south and whatnot, you speak to their drivers, and the drivers are slagging off the AA Transit vans because the 2.2 late Transit, they were doing timing chains for fun.
Oh yeah.
Now the Ford Ranger that came out in 2016, I think it was about 13 did the Range first come out. The 2.2 is the Transit engine.
Yeah.
So it's no different really to what this have done with the MP300 because it's a bloody van engine.
Yeah, they're literally just like trying to term things enough to just wait. It's kind of different, but it's
always the same. Yeah, don't start getting me on about bloody Renault. Bloody can't stand bloody Renault. Makes me blood boil. What they've done with bloody Renault.
Ugh.
Oh man, and there's a story behind that because, and the reason I say that is, when I first got into this job, what engines did I do day in and day out? Bloody Renault. Oh, I think I spent a few years just doing the same engines over and over again. But I were a young mechanic and I wanted more. I wanted to learn. I were a proper petrol head me as a kid. I always loved cars. You know, the Toyota Supra. You know, that was like my dream car. Or the RS Cosworth. You know, cars well out of your price range, but your dream sports car, you know.
And even to these days, they're dream sports cars for some people.
Oh, we've still seen the price of them. Jesus Christ!
I saw someone selling an RS Cosworth on Facebook yesterday. I think it went upwards of £45,000.
Wow! I wish we'd have kept that 3-door shell. You know, we had an RS 500 shell bear.
Running though, not running, but rolling.
Rolling shell, and we were going to be his dream project.
Yep.
And what went wrong?
I think we ended up selling it to. How the hell did we sell it?
Suzanne wanted to open the cafe.
That was it, yeah.
For those of you that knows us, once upon a time we had 11 staff, and it drove us absolutely nuts. And when I say absolutely nuts, to a point is me and Suzanne woke up one day and we said, right, enough's enough. We're all sacked. And we're downsizing. You're all sacked and we're downsizing. And we did. So we've left the big fancy posh workshop, downsized, and Suzanne, her own dream was to open a cafe.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a cafe; it were a diner, but it were a healthy eating diner. It were actually going to be an award-winning cafe. And we put all the money into that for her. But that's another story. That really is another story.
That goes deep.
That one runs deep. All I can say is I'm glad that we got his engine builder back in the workshop, because she's better at building engines than she is at building butties. That's for sure.
I don't know. She built a good sausage, Sally.
Oh, spam and beans on a toasted tea cake. Yeah, man. Bloody hell. What was I going to say? So yeah, Ford have had their problems, so we'll just have to wait and see what the feedback was in them. So if any of you guys have got any Ford Ranger issues, please mention the comments, get them in down below, get involved. Let's learn about your woes. What about the Amrock? What do you guys think about the Amrock? Again, with Snap-on dealers, got one. I told him not to do it, but he's remapped it a bit. He says only subtly, because I did warn him about faulty injectors and remappings, just a no. So I did say to him, he did remap it. He'd had it a few months. It was 2 litre, and he said it was a bit gutless. So I think he didn't tell me what it gone up by, but he said his fuel economy had gone up, and he was getting a better pull in it. But I haven't driven an Amarok personally, so again, you guys, feedback on your Amarok, I'd be highly grateful. I'll tell you what, I did speak to somebody though, with a Ford Ranger 3.2. The guy who had that MP300, he borrowed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you seen that one that were outside his workshop? He borrowed it. He said it drove like a dog. And it's like, we've been that busy for that long. It's like we've been trapped in this Nissan world of day in, day out, Nissan, Navara, and it's been going on like that for quite a few years now. So
everybody look at Nissan.
Danny came over from Manchester. He's ditched his Navara because he's a big caravaner. Danny's goes to festivals and stuff, and he's done his chains, had cylinder head, had turbo issue, had injectors issues, and he went, stuff it does. I've gone and bought myself a Ranger, and he come and he took me out in it, and yeah, it pulled well, it drove well. But again, you don't really know these motors and these modern stuff until you start working them. Yeah.
Until they actually got a few thousand miles behind them.
Yeah.
You're having them pull in. It's like, will they keep up to the task and not just cough out its lungs?
Well, I've worked Navaras to death, and I know a lot of my farmer customers have worked their Navara to death. You know, you've got to bear in mind that if you use your vehicle for work and it earns you a good income, it's going to cost you money at some point.
It's a tool at the end of the day.
It's a tool. It's a part of your everyday living. So, you know, some people are lucky. I mean, last Navara that we did, 53,000 miles. Big end, boom, 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 boom.
On Euro 5 as well.
And it's sort of like, it is poor at 53,000 miles. It's not just bad, it's fucking shocking. But, so yeah, it's not until you really start working them and start sticking 3 ton on a trailer and driving them then.
Yeah.
Because I know what the Navaras drive like, because I've had Navaras. Personally, I've had Navaras for years. I mean, before we got as recovery truck, we used to use a 16-foot trailer to bring Navaras in, and customers would go, "Oh bloody hell, Des! So you trust it?" well, that's putting 3 ton on a trailer and dragging it, and it drive like a dream. You know, I swore by the Navara.
Oh yeah.
It was just. Oh, what stopped me from using the trailer and the Navara was those. At the time, they said I put a tachograph because we were a commercial company.
Yeah, yeah.
So I didn't. I wasn't willing to put a tachograph on it because the towing hours that are involved, because you've got to comply with the brakes and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Which lorry drivers have to comply with. So you can only do a certain amount of hours in a certain amount of time. And we were collecting them like from Southampton. We still are collecting them from bloody Southampton, Scotland, Swansea, Norwich. No, they just come from all over, don't they?
Every part of the country, really, to be honest.
And it's just, yeah. Lost my plot now. Lost the plot there. Anyway, let's see if we can answer anybody's questions. Right, the thermostat, when it's faulty, guys, a thermostat opens and closes and allows coolant to circulate around your engine. At a certain temperature, in and around normally about 80 degrees, 83 degrees. Once the engine warms up and the coolant warms up, the thermostat will then open, and then the water pump will circulate the water around your engine. Yeah? And that's for you to get a heater into your cab, into the heater matrix, on top of cooling the engine. Now when it seizes and it's faulty, it stays either one of two things, either completely open or completely closed. Now completely open's not a detrimental thing, to be fair, other than your heater matrix will have poor heat because the water's cooling that quick.
Yeah.
And that's what the thermostat does, is it slows the flow of the coolant around the engine. And so when it seizes closed, your engine's going to overheat and your cylinder head's going to crack and your cylinder head gasket will go. Mm-hmm. So it's vitally important that you do change your thermostat, guys. And we're going to mention something else and that's quite important too. And it's gone. Gone. If I can do a video, I'll do a video as soon as I can for you, just because it's a quick and easy one, is that one. Especially if you get the airbox out of the way. Get the airbox out of the way, there's plenty of room to get to it. And it's on the turbo side of the vehicle as well for you. So yeah, what else were I going to say? How's the new shop doing? Right, the new workshop, guys. What a nightmare. I wondered if somebody had asked us this one.
Yeah.
Because it's been no secret. I've been telling everyone what an utter nightmare. It's travelling distance is a nightmare for one. Because M62 is just like a car park.
Can't stand it.
Car park. Managed motorway, yeah, whatever. Managed car park. And then secondly, don't know whether I should say this, but the landlord, a nightmare. Absolute, utter nightmare. Yeah, I'll like to share more with you, because that's progressing at the minute, isn't it? Where we are with him, because it's definitely put me off Huddersfield.
Oh yeah,
definitely put me off Huddersfield.
So the way this guy's been, it's just a case of he's turned us off that workshop completely.
Yeah. Well, if anybody who knows me is we like an immaculate workshop.
Oh yeah, spit man.
And he won't let us do anything really. He won't work with us. He's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we only signed a 1-year contract. 1 year, which is nearly will be coming up soon. So we are looking for somewhere else. As well, the unit is split between 2 units, and there's only me, Nathan, and Suzanne. So if Nathan's in other half, it can be boring. We like to have a laugh and a crack, and
Yeah.
Don't we? It's like, but if you split between two units, it makes it divides the atmosphere, sort of thing, doesn't it? In fairness,
pull everything apart, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or it's sort of like if I'm busy doing something and Nathan's in the same workshop, I can say, right, I've got to go deal with customer, and you'll do what I'm doing, and it's just a bit hard when it's not suitable, but it were what we needed at the time. Winter were coming, we could no longer work from home, and it suited us at the time. But
it worked then, but it's just once business progresses, you realise you need different things, you need different spaces and different areas to work. And I think what's happened to us is we've gotten to such a place in business now where we need to expand, but expand in the right way. Yeah.
I've made that mistake in the past where you can grow too big too quickly, and I've vowed I'd never make that mistake again. It's sort of like I've done it a couple of times and I've overcommitted financially. So before you know it, all you're doing is working to pay the bills and live. And I've been guilty of making that mistake because I've always had that passion for the state of the art, world arty workshop. You walk into a workshop and you go, wow.
Yeah, we've always wanted to be better than the dealerships, but not on price.
Yeah, that's been his overall aim, is to give dealerships a good run for the money, but not in terms of price, and then in terms of honesty as well, because this is what this has all been about. This channel is totally about me sharing my life experiences and Nathan's life experiences with you guys, so you don't have to go through what we've gone through. We have gone through over the years. I mean, we're going back 13 years. I mean, not many of you'll know I was on Sky News as a reputable mechanic with Eamon Holmes. Thank you, Sky News. That was in, I think, 2011.
I believe so, yeah.
If you want to research it. So yeah, I let the Sky News thing go to my head a bit, and I doubled the workshop. But I was young and naive at the time.
Well, yeah, because you think, you know what, I've got some big exposure now. Now I can start putting down some money for expansion.
Yeah, so it was, and it were a flogging a dead horse, because staff were taking more money than we were taking. We paid his rent quarterly, and it got paid on Christmas Day. Actually, Christmas Day, would you believe, guys?
I suppose you made some Christmas, didn't you?
Yeah, 25th of March, 25th of June, 25th of September, and the 25th of December. I'll never forget it. That was 4 years of like £38,000 a year in rent and rates.
Just in rent and rates.
And then I once come out of my house, and right in front of me were a house that had just come for sale. And we live in a modest area, so they're not dear houses around us. And the house were up for £39,000. I mean, this is going back a few years, going back about 8 years now. But yeah, £38,000. And I said to Suzanne, I said, what are we doing? What are we writing our head just to have a fancy workshop? I mean, don't get me wrong, it was suspended ceilings, gas central heated, it were, the bees. But it was an ex-motorbike showroom, sports motorbike showroom. And it was absolutely worldly, but cost us a fortune.
And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, cost us an absolute fortune. But another thing that I'll say, guys, is finding somewhere that'll accept motor trade. You ring up, I'm interested in this unit, you just ring a estate agent. Yeah, what do you do? I'm a Nissan specialist. Okay. I'm a Nissan engineman specialist. Boop, boop, boop. The minute you mention engine, they think that you're just going to absolutely destroy it. Oh. It's like apparently the two worst trades to get a workshop are bed manufacturing companies and motor trade, because it's just renowned for aftermarket motor trade, dirty backstreet garage.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, that's never what we've been about. It's about cleanliness, immaculate.
Yeah.
Because that in itself prevents any problems.
Oh yeah, because you keep it
the cleaner the workshop, the lesser the problems, and that's always been our philosophy. So trying to find a workshop's easier said than done. And then price. And then again, you've got business rates. I am sick to death of paying business rates. And insurance.
Yeah.
You know when you start adding up how much insurance you've paid over the years and you've never put a claim in. Or that when you do put a claim in, no, that's not covered. No, that's not covered. It's like we had some vehicles broken into when we first moved into Mount Street.
Oh yeah.
Nothing covered. Absolutely nothing. Because the parts that had been stolen were outside the workshop.
Yeah. Not
inside the workshop. So, not covered. You'll have to speak to the owner. And it's like... But you're paying a fortune.
Even though you're paying out the arse to be covered, it's like you're not covered. You may as well just literally just throw that money into the air.
It's like business rates at Mount Street was £6,000 a year, so that's £500 a month just to give to Bradford Council for nothing in return.
Yeah,
£500. So really, what you're saying is you customers, £100, yeah, just so I can give it to council. You know, just give it to council. And I've been paying business rates every year for years and years and years. Mm-hmm. So when we found a place at Huddersfield, because it's split between 2 units, no business rates. So that's when I went, hallelujah, Huddersfield, here we come. No, big mistake. Definitely big mistake. Wish I hadn't moved there. But we were thinking of doing a review on it. Because when we talk about this unit, it's not just funny. It's really funny.
Oh yeah.
The landlord, nice chap, bit strange.
Very.
I don't know whether I showed you guys when we first took the workshop. I'm sure I did a video to do a tour, and we showed people around, didn't we? Right, you know where the ramp is, don't you? You've got that wooden slidey door, and we've got that little side room, and in that side room there's another shutter door that takes you into a back garden, and it's quite a big grassed area. And we thought, that'll be handy for summer. We'll have a crack up a barbie.
Keeping in mind, it's got an extra garage back there and a 40-foot shipping container and another storage unit as well, which we,
Yeah.
Came with the unit.
Supposed to come with the unit. Right. So we moved in, didn't we? Thinking, happy days.
Plenty of room for storage. Put this here. This can go here.
We've got customers worldwide. The parts going worldwide. We'll be able to start breaking vehicles. We'll put vehicle parts in storage container. We thought taking this unit on, it'd make us the full package, so that we could help everybody around the world with affordable parts. Mm-hmm. And that was the plan.
It was the goal.
And we thought, And then all of a sudden, we just stood working away one day, weren't we?
Yeah.
And landlord comes downhill. I'm thinking, he's coming to talk to me. Mm-hmm. But he's got a crankshaft and some conrods in his hand. I thought, that's strange, he's retired.
Yeah.
I thought, what's he bringing me? Is he bringing me for something to send for machining for him? And he didn't, he just walked past me. He didn't even say anything. I looked at Nathan and he started opening wood and shut the door. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing I heard, shutter going up. And I thought, what's going on here? Looked at Nathan again and we're like, what the fuck? And then I heard this. So I popped my head round the corner. He's in the shipping container, the landlord, which was supposed to be ours, which come with a rent.
Yeah, because I went round with my keys thinking, which bloody keys in for these locks in this container?
Yeah, with Nathan were trying to get in it and we thought, we ain't got keys for it. Right. We've had CCTV. Well, we always have CCTV in and outside our workshop, so that we can video for you guys whatever we can, whenever we, get something new to share with you. And it was one of them things, really. Like, we put CCTV up, and lo and behold, we found out that as landlord not only just does that on a regular basis, but he's using that as his own storage container. Yeah. But he's in and out even when we're not there.
Yeah.
And we've got him on camera doing it.
Up to 3 or 4 times a week I would see him.
And he just comes regularly, and it's like we don't get any breathing space at all. And then there's another really strange thing that he does, guys, right? This is something that's really strange. So where the ramp is, we can get two vehicles side by side. And that's where you get the entrance to the back garden, right? So in the other side of the workshop, we've got an electric meter. Now, the other side is really old-fashioned.
Oh, yeah.
But, come on. His electric meter isn't.
No.
I don't know if you guys know anything about electric meters or anything, but ours is a smart one. Ever heard of that? Smart, as in clever, meaning information goes directly from machine to the biller.
Which can be all seen probably on a smartphone as well, just by a quick click.
Yeah. Our landlord takes it upon himself to come and take a meter reading every month.
Oh yeah.
Every month.
Sometimes twice a week.
And he's also got a letterbox.
Above ours.
Above ours. And I should have seen the warning signs in the early days, you know.
I'm surprised you didn't see his slippers and it shut the door on his way out.
Yeah. And it was, again, I'm working away. He just walks in through the door. I'm just gonna go take a meter reading. And he's like, for fuck's sake, it's a smart meter. Oh. So, yes, we've been going through another strange period. So last year was strange and I won't wish that last year upon anybody. What we went through as a family, that's for sure. So yeah, but that workshop not that straightforward.
No, it's kind of like.
But that's it for us. It never is.
No.
I think that's why I really do like doing YouTube channels, because I like to share. We hear some I do hear some strange stories.
Yeah.
I really do. But I think what I do like about this channel, and I am getting it a lot, is people doing the research and not getting waffled, or getting waffled and then going back and telling the garage that they've either spoke to us or they've seen the videos for their own two eyes. They've got an understanding of what an engine does, and then goes and tells them what for, so they're not getting charged through the earth.
Yeah.
I think I enjoy doing the videos for that sort of reason, as well. But yeah, that fucking workshop. Oh no! I thought we'd be settled there for years. I really, really, really did.
That was the original plan when we first moved in.
Yeah.
We even set out plans on fully reconcreting a full floor so it's perfectly flat, and painting all the walls and putting a new ceiling in. Yeah,
we seem to have everything that we wanted to venture into in the future there, didn't it? Yeah. Own little car parking space, own little, entrance and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
One part we're going to be for the parts department, one for the building, engine rebuilding and rebuilding and stuff, and then one for the fitting. With a steel container for other parts. Yes. But it just hasn't got a plan.
No.
It just hasn't got a plan at all. In the end, we have had to screaming rows with the landlords. So it's just sort of like I've come to a point where I get there and I'm disheartened with the place. I don't want to work there, and I want to get out of Huddersfield, back to Bradford, because I am Bradfordian. I am a City fan. No, Bradford City. Anybody know how the football's doing, guys? Because I forgot to mention, booked this last night, totally forgot about today's football.
Oh, bloody hell.
Totally forgot. But Bradford City come bottom of the league, so I haven't been that bothered about football this year. In fact, I think we've let more goals in Bradford than any other team in the country. So yeah, Bradford City Football Club is not high on my priority at the minute. See if I can see some of these. And the radiator snapped off. Lucky it's not seized. Yeah, well, that's it. The summertime, particularly in some hot places around the country, the Nissan cylinder head problem is pretty rife, to be fair. Talking about cylinder heads, a top tip for you, right? American aluminium is far better than Japanese. Far better. If you need a cylinder head for your Nissan Navara or the YD25 engine full stop, buy it from America. AMC, it comes with a 2-year warranty, brand new casting. And if you were to put that casting, and I'll prove it on the next time that I've got a brand new cylinder ready, then I will prove it, guys. Right, especially for those metal fabricators who will back me up on this. When you put an American casting next to a Japanese casting, you can tell the quality immediately just by looking at it, and then the feel of it. It's far better. So yeah, AMC. It's an American company. You can buy them from a company called SMS Diesel Spares in London, but they are a good quality cylinder head.
Oh yeah.
So if you ever do need a cylinder head, that's where you need to go. I wouldn't buy a genuine Nissan. Definitely not. You're lucky if you get 10 years out of it. You're very lucky if you get 10 years out of a Nissan cylinder head all day long. This is why I say to people, don't ever buy a reconditioned cylinder head, because you don't know how old that cylinder head is. So when it gets reconditioned, so it's pressure tested and skimmed at that time, it could still crack in 3 and 6 months' time. Do you know what I mean? Because the casting's of a certain age and it's been used previously, and got hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. And that's what it is the purity of the aluminium is far better coming from America than it is from China or Japan. And again, you can see how smooth the aluminium is on the AMC cylinder head compared to how rough.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really rough. When you're looking at, you turn the cylinder head over and looking at oil galleries and the water jackets, really rough is the casting. So you know it's proper cheap shit that's, you know, been thrown in at the fire, smoulded,
mixed in a bit,
mixed, and thrown in there. So yeah. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, we're now in a position where we've got a shipping company that ships all around the world, and they've been to me now and told us that we can now export vehicles anywhere around the world. Anywhere around the world, you need a vehicle, we can get it to you. Same with all engine components, we can get it to you. We've had some harsh lessons in getting stuff abroad, so depending on what country, there's different legislation, different tax brackets.
Oh yeah.
Some countries are getting ripped to death just to import vehicles.
Ridiculous.
The Nissan R34 GTR, they're gagging for that in America. Absolutely gagging for that in America.
2024, I believe.
Yeah. We've also developed import connections. So vehicles from Japan, we can get brought over to the UK. Because you've got to remember, even vehicles from Japan are right-hand drive.
Yep.
Half of Africa is right-hand drive. So all your iconic monster beast cars, you can wheel and deal. You can wheel and deal with the modern world now, and our channel and how many people we've managed to reach it's not like anything to do with Nissan. We can get our hands on it for people.
That's it, right? Yeah.
Anything to do with Nissan, we can get our hands on it, and it's not too hard. Whereas years ago, I'd have to wait weeks, months if I wanted to ship parts from abroad, and then it was trying to find them. Getting a crankshaft for an R34, man, were a nightmare. But the way the internet's changed now, it's like, give me a budget and I'll go and buy you a car.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's coming from the other side of the world, and we can still get it to you. And it's not like, it's just the internet has phenomenally changed the motor trade.
Yeah.
Phenomenally changed the motor trade. And I think, what would I say about the motor trade? It's one of the hardest trades to ever get involved in. And that's what I say about the motor trade. Compared to any other trade, I'd say the motor trade's got to be one of the hardest. And it takes you a lot of years under your belt. I don't think anyone should get involved in the motor trade without having a serious think about it, you've got to know about all the laws.
Yeah.
There's, all the consumer laws that are required in this country, what the rules and regulations are in terms of tax. Because again, if you're buying and selling vehicles, you've got to remember it's a commercial vehicle, and there is VAT to pay, Mr. Taxman. See, that's another thing with the motor trade is we've got two competitors in some respects. You've got main agents, legal business, and then like eBay, what we call couch traders.
Yeah.
Where they'll trade through bloody Gumtree and eBay. They'll call themselves a trader, but they've got no motor trade experience.
Yeah, like an affiliate sort of base.
Yeah, so they're buying and selling, making a few quid here and there, and it's sort of like they're the ones that dodge all the laws or dodge the tax man.
Because they're going in and out of every.
And everything that they deal with is in cash.
Yeah.
Whereas we've got to literally keep a record of everything. Everything goes through the bank.
Yep.
Mr. Taxman wants his bit at the end of the year. Thankfully, we're not VAT registered anymore, because that's just glorified tax collecting for Mr. Bloody Taxman too. Having to pay a bloody accountant on top of that. Self-assessment eyes now for me, guys. And that's the beauty about being a family-run business. We ain't got the pressure of huge bills that we used to have years ago. We've slashed us overheads right down, and we've been able to do that by cutting costs. But then we save that cost to the customer.
Yeah.
You know, we don't pass it on, do we? We're just a family-run business who care for people and feel for them, really.
True, yeah.
Because it's sort of like when you see what we see, you can see how sometimes it can really hurt people's pockets. I mean, that Pathfinder that I did that DPF regen on, that lady's got that car on finance for the next fucking 5 years, but it cost her just short of $3,000 up front. So the vehicle's only worth 10, but by the time she's finished with interest payments on the finance package, what she's paid on the engine, it'd be like a third. It's $5,000 down the Swanee, pretty much.
Yeah. In truth, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when the vehicles comes to that 5-year-old, it's not going to be worth all. So it's all that money for old rope. And I think that's why I like doing, another reason why I like doing this channel is for that very reason.
Yeah.
If you get me, it's like, never in a minute. I think what I can't get, I still can't get my head around, guys, is how many fucking faults the car's got.
Yeah, after everything you look through.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, when I first set up in business, like I said, I grew up in Nissan being quality. For the first 5 years, we were selling whole engines, and then we had to stop because of the fact that because we sold a whole engine, we had to stand the warranty. So then, when I was saying is when we were working for nothing, we were working for nothing because we were repairing them all the time.
True, yeah.
So that's when we decided, right, it's about time we started sharing with people what they are really like, and that's what's got us to where we are today. Well, I think I've run out of content for today. I hope you've got a better insight into who we are and what we do, and
spreading the word.
Spread the word, yeah. What else were I going to say?
So we'll have some interesting content out in the next week or so as well.
Summer's here. Summer's here. The content will never stop coming. So yeah, big thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. If you need my help and assistance at all, feel free to give us a call on 033 33 44 6979. Cheers.
So guys.